to share something that I mentioned in my last video. It's the video titled Ego Death Part 5, The Ego Needs to Feel Special. In that video, I mentioned something about the correlation between schizophrenia and religious practice, or religiosity. And so hyper-religiosity is what we would term as someone who is hyper spiritual or who is completely invested in spirituality. And so with that, there's a likelihood that mental illness or psychological disorder can happen, specifically with the detachment or the alternation or going into an alternate reality. So I want to share my screen and give you a little bit of insight on what I'm trying to say here. So as we can see from this article, it's interesting that it mentions atheism, but it actually has nothing to do with being atheist. The article mentions a condition of schizophrenia known as hypermentalism. So hypermentalism is mentalizing, involves being observant of external cues of many kinds and being interested in deducing people's mental states from these cues. There is a range of severity to schizophrenia type conditions. Mild symptoms are summarized as schizoid personality disorder. This is characterized by anhedonia and apathy. More severe schizotypal personality, where schizoid symptoms are accompanied by social anxiety, paranoid ideation, unconventional or paranoid beliefs, and sometimes psychosis. And so this hypermentalism type of behavior is also conducive of someone developing hyper religious behavior in terms of becoming attached to an alternate reality, which leads to different types of obsessive thinking that have to do with religion. For example, if a person becomes hyper religious, they are more likely to, and if they are schizophrenic or if they are experiencing some type of psychological disorder, they're going to be self-condemning, they're going to be afraid of things, and they're going to have these persecuting thoughts, which are common with hyper-religious behavior, in that the person will give their full attention to spiritual practice, spiritual study, to the point of becoming delusional in believing that in some cases that they are being talked to by God, or that they, in some cases have been reported, they believe that they are chosen, or it's called chosen syndrome. So they believe that they're chosen, they believe that they're set apart, they believe that God or the creator that they believe in has spoken directly to them. And so these are all warning signs of that hyper-religious behavior, but they're also characteristic of psychosis, which is a major indicator of schizophrenia. So if someone is experiencing these behaviors, or if someone you know is very, very much seeming to make bizarre statements about what they believe, that like, for example, the devil is chasing them, or they believe that God is directly communicating with them, these may be more than just hyper-religious behaviors. They may actually indicate schizophrenia. And so I wanted to jump on and share this because there is a strong correlation in that. And then I found some statistics that were pretty interesting too. And I just typed in the correlation between schizophrenia and religious behavior. And what I found was this: a systematic literature review looked at finer grained relationships, such as between schizophrenia and types of religious belief or religiosity, but similarly concluded that hyper-religiosity is a robust correlate of schizophrenia. So if someone is hyper-religious, like I've mentioned, that's a warning sign. So if you are seeing this with someone you know, please reach out to a mental health professional and seek professional advice and help. I am not saying that all belief is hyper religious, nor am I categorizing it into a box or, trying to compartmentalize this in any way. I'm just saying that there is a likelihood that someone could experience a psychological disorder if they have low ego strength and they are really, really struggling with challenges functioning normally in society and being able to um, keep up with age appropriate behavior, which is being employed or financial responsibilities, caring for themselves if they have a family, caring for their family members, caring for their children, the normal things that you would think of for an adult to be involved in. That's what I'm trying to get at. I'm not saying that a person's belief system is wrong. That is for that person to determine. I have my own set of beliefs, and as you know, on this channel is not about finding fault in belonging to a religious narrative or being religious or having spiritual belief. It's actually the opposite. I'm just sharing the things that I find and giving facts to help you guys determine which path you want to head down. That's up to you. Anyway, take care, and I'll see you guys on the next one.